Hello, my friends. Welcome to another hour of What's on Your Mind, Monday edition of the program. I got to start for those folks that are watching on Beck TV right now. We love our listeners, obviously, on the Flag Family Radio Network and Super Talk 1270 in Bismarck, Mandan. But those of you watching on Beck TV, either live right now or anytime at Beck Plus on the app, which is great, are noticing, Kev, that I'm deaded up today. I should know the brand here. I don't know, but I found this yesterday. I'm like, oh, my gosh. I went in for a little warmer kind of look and was asking for 3/4 zips, but this is a button-up, and it is so nice, so warm. I'll stand up for everybody watching. There we go. Exactly right. Okay. So Halbersted's, West Acres Mall, Fargo. For folks listening all across the Fruited Plain, I want you to know you can come into Halbersted's at the West Acres Mall, and they will take very, very good care of you. They will. Got a couple of suits and some warm weather wear, 3/4 zips, pair of jeans. Love the Mobby jeans. I'm wearing Mobbies today, too. Anyway, it is tough to make me look fashioner, as the kids used to say when they were little in our house. Mom, you look fashioner. But they did their best, and I want to encourage you to stop in and see them at Halbersted's. Speaking of coming here from all over the Fruited Plain, the November 15th is fast approaching. It is a week from this Saturday that we'll have Brian Kilmeade from Fox and Friends and Jimmy Fallon together on the stage. We're going to have a lot of fun. Jimmy's a funny guy, tells great stories about his colleagues at Fox. Brian is super smart, super wired, obviously, on everything that's happening in politics right now. And then we're going to have a little sit-down, a little talk radio confab, take some questions from the audience. We're going to leave a lot of time for questions. So you'll get to ask things. There are everything from VIP opportunities like all access for the whole family for the lifetime of the Freedom Matters USA events, sponsorships that are $25,000 to $5,000 depending on how you want to sponsor. And if you're interested in those, I'll give you a number in a second when you call me. But everything else, VIP tickets at $150 each, get you a little party, rubbing elbows with Brian and Jimmy. The tickets start at $20 for students and veterans. No reason not to join us. Saturday night, November 15th, a tribute to Charlie Kirk. We're going to start with a video of some highlights of Charlie in his time in North Dakota and his great wisdom, because we're supporting Turning Point USA with Freedom Matters USA events to get more and more chapters stood up in our part of the world. All the details on this event at freedommattersusa.com, freedommattersusa.com, or you can go to Eventbrite and just get your tickets pronto. But don't wait. They're going to go. We're going to have a sold-out house. Guarantee it. And they say that the vast majority of people buy the tickets within 2 weeks of the event. So we're already well over half sold. So get to it, folks. And if you like any of the bigger sponsorship opportunities for all access and lifetime membership for all of our events, you can text me at 701-367-2054 or call 701-367-2054. All right, I was at an event at the University of Jamestown not long ago, and one of their distinguished alum gave a great talk about leadership and character, and I said, this is something I want to share with our listeners. I really do. And so our next guest is going to talk a little bit about that. Julie Fedorchuk at the bottom of the hour on the shutdown and the political calculation going on by the Democrats that I don't understand. So we'll ask her about that and more. Farmers and ranchers concerned right now about trade deals going on, so lots to cover. But without any further ado, let me welcome to the program Kyle Bubba Schweigert, longtime football assistant coach, head coach at the University of North Dakota, and also now a member of the leadership at the University of North Dakota's athletic department. Bubba, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a while since we had a chance to chat, certainly on the air. You reminded me the other day of a time that you pulled over and were announced as the UND head football coach moments before and called us on the show. So we always appreciate you and the great friendship we've had over the years.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I remember that trip driving from Carbondale, Illinois, and two toddlers and a wife in the vehicle. And seems like a short time ago, but that was about 12 years ago in January. So it was warmer down there where I pulled over than when I got to Grand Forks, that's for sure.
Well, we're glad you came, and it was a good run, and always appreciated our friendship and how you bled green, that's for sure. And did you see Justin Jefferson and J.J. McCarthy over the weekend try and imitate you with the little dance there? Did you catch that at all?
Yeah, I did. Those guys, they're doing it wrong. You got to do it like an old stiff guy trying to imitate JJ on a touchdown dance.
Oh, nobody did it better. They could learn from you for sure. It was great fun watching those locker room videos with the UND football team over the year. So I said to you when we were in Jamestown together, I had to apologize. I've known Kyle for a long time, as I mentioned. My father-in-law, who bled green for the Sioux over the years, Jerry Hammerlick, was your biggest fan, as you know, and through all those times, I didn't know that you were this unbelievable motivational speaker. And I think whether it's for business, whether it's for athletics, whether it's just basic leadership in whatever you do, you did an amazing job at the University of Jamestown talking about leadership and character and three virtues that you talked a lot about: excellence, courage, and humility, which I want to go through today. When you talk about the virtue of excellence, how does that transform into leadership?
Yeah, thanks, Scott. I was really excited to be down there at my alma mater. What an event that they put on, and I was excited to speak to the crowd there. And the virtues really came from, I think I shared it that day. I know I shared it that day. I've been reading Matthew Kelly for a number of years now, one of my favorite authors, and in his book Life is Messy, he talked about excellence. And for me, excellence is setting a high standard and then holding yourself responsible and accountable to uphold those standards and those people around you. And then where it can become difficult in the sports world is we're so result orientated, which I think we have to be, because we know we're hired to win games at this level. But the scoreboard doesn't reflect sometimes the progress that we're making at developing people and character and those types of things. So the excellence is really holding yourself accountable and responsible to uphold standards, and these standards got to be upheld each and every day that you come to work, and those people that you're leading need to follow that and hold each other responsible and accountable.
How about courage? Connect that to leadership.
Yeah, courage is something that I think it's really required, because when you have courage, you're willing to do difficult things, some things that might even frighten you a bit. And then where it really comes into play is staying true to your beliefs when it really gets hard. Are you going to take a shortcut, or are you going to really stay true to your beliefs? And then it's also committing to continued growth. That's one thing that, as I look back in my 41 years of coaching, I wish I would have had more courage early in my career to commit to growth. And, I think that's sometimes more difficult when you're younger, that you think you know everything, and maybe it's a little bit insecure and insecurity when you're younger. But, to commit to that continued growth, and then you need to stand up to wrong.
I don't know, in your line of work as a coach, not easy, right? I mean, you got to win. You got to be proud of the win. You got to go in front of the cameras. Really in life, you get a snootful of yourself, think you're kind of a big deal. How did you win the humility battle, and what advice do you have for us there, Bubba?
Yeah, I just think when you think of humility, it's a modest view of one's own importance. I really think when you say humble characters can be good leaders, I always felt like it was such a humbling experience to be named the head coach at the University of North Dakota, and always took that position very seriously, that it wasn't going to last forever. We want it to last forever. But I also, knew that, hey, I need others around me to help to get this program moving in the direction and to get it to accomplish things that I saw in the vision that we could accomplish. And then it was, humility is about understanding you aren't always the smartest guy in the room. Maybe somebody else has a better idea than you have. And it gets hard, especially, after the big wins and the things that give you so much positive feedback. you've got to really come down to that humble approach again, like, hey, it's important to win games, but my role in it was maybe not as important as I think it is, because it takes a lot of other people to accomplish the positive results.
Why do people lead? What is the reason they decide to lead?
Yeah, I think it's to build a culture. I really believe that's what drove me to lead. And believe me, if this was only about winning games, I wouldn't have done it for 41 years. I really believe that, I enjoyed the competition, obviously, and the role that I was able to serve as a head coach. But, coaching to build that culture of just what can be accomplished and then challenge others to follow you, because the culture is really how you interact with each other, how you treat each other. We talk about a lot of times when you build a culture, there's a lot of things in that group that will divide the group. So you got to find a way to make those dividers differences and bring people together to share that vision where you can take a program. But it's really about building a culture, and culture is what you do, not just on the practice field or in the meeting rooms. It's how you live day after day and how you treat each other and those that are important to you. We hear the term "we're really connected" nowadays. I think it's, do you love each other or not? And when you love each other, you put other people's needs in front of your own, or the group or team's needs in front of your own needs.
For sure. And all the while, forces that divide are there, right? So that's when a leader's really got to gut it out. Talk about the natural dividers a leader's going to face.
Yeah, you're going to lead, and the first time you step in front of your group, you're going to see natural dividers. I look at, let's use football as an example. The first time you meet with the entire organization, you're going to have the players, you're going to have the coaches, you're going to have sports medicine, you're going to have media relations, all those different groups, and you got to bring them together. So it's a partnership with everybody working. And then within the football team, I think we're a great example of the natural dividers. First of all, the biggest one is we're going to have an offense and a defense. Then we're going to have 11 different position groups, and you got to bring all those people, even though they have their separate roles, they got to come together. And then let's look outside of the sport. We're going to have guys that grew up in a city. We're going to have guys that grew up in the country. We're going to have guys from different races. We're going to have guys from different backgrounds, that all things that could divide us, we got to understand that those are differences and they're going to be respected. And then we bring people together to work towards a common goal.
For sure. A couple minutes left here. I do want to get into a little bit about the different kinds of leadership. You talked about it being transactional, but also transformational. And obviously, transactional, I guess, is going to be, it's leadership, and we're accomplishing a win, right? We have a goal on the field today. We have a goal in life. We have a goal in business. Let's check that box. But transformational is the real game changer. Explain that.
Yeah, transactional leadership it's necessary at times. I would look at that as more like being a manager. You got to have things, but, I look at transactional as really you're in it for personal gain, where transformational is less about ego, much less selfish. Transformational leadership is selfless. It's driven by building of community. It's touching the hearts of people. And I think that's the biggest challenge. When you see transformational leaders, they're going to be into it more than just about results on a scoreboard or businesses reaching goals. They're going to be in it. Are our people becoming better characters? Are they becoming better leaders themselves? Because it's about a selfless attitude, and it's not ego driven at all. It's all about that humility that I talked about earlier, and that courage it takes to lead, and having a hard conversation with somebody because you're going to make them a better person by having that tough conversation. And it's really touching the hearts of people. That's transformational. So the biggest joy you can get out of coaching, in my opinion, is when those former players come back and say, Coach, I remember that conversation. It was about football at that time, but I go back to that conversation every day while I'm working and leading people, and I use that as an example how to become a great leader.
It really is amazing. By the way, whatever line of work you're in, whatever your business, whatever you're trying to accomplish, all of what we talked about here today can help you do that and do it better. And I would encourage you to think about having Bubba come to your event, because speak at whatever the group is. A lot of associations out there bring folks in from the different areas of any particular business or industry, and really is great stuff. I found myself, I took a ton of takeaways from that, and really caused me to pause. So thank you for doing this, Bubba. And of course, in the athletic world now, these kind of traits more important than ever, because you need that kind of leadership to retain kids, right? And get them not to see that shiny object known as NIL. So it works in your profession as well, doesn't it?
Sure does. I think college athletics, one of the greatest thing is about the relationships and the experience. And I hope we never lose sight of that's the number one thing, because a lot of these times, I know NIL is a big talk, but if it's not life-changing money, what are we really talking about? It's about the experience and what you gain to help you throughout the rest of your life. That's really what it's about.
Yeah, life lessons. And talking about transactional, that's very transactional now, sadly. Kyle Bubba Schweigert, now at the University of North Dakota as a Engagement and Mentorship Associate AD. Thank you, Bubba. Appreciate it.